Defence Minister Ng Eng Hen is reminding Singaporeans that defence is a long-term business.
That defence is a long-term business.
At half the size of London, Singapore stands at 6th place in the Global Peace Index. But did you know that the small city-state is preparing for war? Why would this small island nation, located in Southeast Asia, with a strong economy and peaceful neighbors, have the arsenal of a medium-sized European country? Singapore closely watches regional neighbors in East Asia, like the Philippines and Taiwan, following their example as they also navigate similar geopolitical challenges. From a small fishing village, Singapore has grown into the thriving global city-state of today. The state's leaders have time and again expressed desire to be a first-world economy and a world-class home, and they are having success. For Singapore, this vision can only be realized if the island is safe and secure in a region that is peaceful and stable. Security remains a top national priority. This sentiment of peace through strength can be exemplified by statements made by several Singapore leaders over the years. In 1998, Dr. Tony Keng Yam, the Deputy Prime Minister at the time, saw the importance of military strength early on, as he said, "In the economic sphere, if things fall apart, you will still have opportunities to rebuild and to prosper again. We will not get a second chance if we cannot defend ourselves. A security threat could mean the loss of lives and the end of Singapore." The recent Asian economic crisis has demonstrated how closely interlinked the interests of nations have become in an increasingly connected world. A small and business-friendly country like Singapore is especially open to unpredictable shifts in the international environment. During a recent budget debate, Dr. Ng Eng Hen said, "This government does not plan on the basis that we can depend on another country to come to our rescue. If Singaporeans will not or cannot defend Singapore, there is no backstop. A strong SAF acts as a deterrent against aggression towards us and keeps adventurism at bay." This shows the real motive behind Singapore arming itself. In a conflict, their back is quite literally against the wall. Singapore's strategic location makes it an important actor in Southeast Asia. Situated along the southern tip of the Malay Peninsula, the country is a key gateway between the Indian Ocean and the South China Sea. This location allows for easy access to major shipping routes and makes it a major hub for international trade. Singapore's location also plays a significant role in its economic success. It is situated in the heart of Southeast Asia, surrounded by emerging markets such as Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand. This makes it an attractive destination for foreign investment and has helped Singapore become one of the world's leading financial centers. But these geographic benefits also make Singapore open to regional and maritime conflicts. In order to prevent this, Singapore is working extensively to enhance its security and defense through acquisition of the latest military technology and equipment. How could a country like Singapore, a small country with a small population and landmass, defend itself? The island nation has an approximate active strength of over 51,000 full-time personnel and is capable of mobilizing over 252,500 reservists, known as national servicemen, in the event of national emergency. It also has a large pool of conscripts in the active and reserve forces, with about 50,000 reaching military age annually. Given its small population, Singapore cannot maintain a significant standing armed forces without draining its economy. The solution to this predicament is its national service. Instead of relying solely on career soldiers for defense, every able-bodied Singaporean is conscripted for 2 or 2.5 years for full-time service. He or she may be called up for service until the age of 40 for warrant officers and specialists, and the age of 50 for officers. To counter lack of strategic depth and landmass, the country has civilian infrastructure that can be repurposed in times of conflict, such as highways that can be converted into runways and bomb shelters in apartments and houses. The Singapore Armed Forces have 4 components: the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Digital and Intelligence Service. An integrated force, it is one of the most capable, robust, technologically sophisticated, and powerful militaries in the Southeast Asia region. Singapore's Defense Ministry has proposed a $15 billion defense budget this year. This is higher than much larger countries like Turkey and Iran. For several years, Singapore has steadily allocated around 3% of its GDP for defense spending, according to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. Surprisingly, Singapore comes in at third place in the list of countries with the most defense spending per capita. In 2022 alone, Singapore imported around $9.9 million worth of military weapons, becoming the 36th largest importer of military weapons in the world. On the exports front, the country's aerospace and defense markets are expected to grow by 12% from 2023 to 2028, according to research firm Mordor Intelligence. As Singapore strengthens its military, it not only safeguards its own strategic interests, but also contributes to the stability and security of the Southeast Asian region, which is crucial for neighboring countries like the Philippines and Taiwan, facing their own geopolitical threats. When Singapore acquired its first 4 Lockheed Martin F-35B Joint Strike Fighters, many declared it to be among the most advanced fleet of fighters in the region. The F-35S, when operational, will put the RSAF in the Premier League of military air forces. In sum, after the F-16S retire, the Singapore Air Force will operate the F-35As, F-35Bs, and F-15SGs together, making it an air force unmatched the Southeast Asia region. The F-35 is touted as world's most advanced fighter jet. Singapore plans to put into active service this year 4 Invincible-class submarines under a deal with Germany's ThyssenKrupp Marine Systems. It will also begin receiving offshore patrol vessels from German shipbuilder Phasmer, starting in 2028. The same year, ST Engineering is contracted to begin delivering the multi-role combat vessels. Most of Singapore's naval fleet has been constructed by Singaporean firms. ST Engineering, the country's largest defense company, supplies about 38% of the Navy's equipment. As part of its work on the 6 Formidable-class frigates, the company will upgrade their marine and electrical systems. The country will also make its unmanned surface vessel fleet fully operational this year. Locally designed and manufactured, these USVs are fully autonomous and can navigate busy shipping lanes in the Singapore Strait. Soon, Singapore's soldiers will also have their own micro-UAVs, an asset for soldiers on foot for last-mile surveillance. Singapore plans to bring into service next-generation armored tank carriers and howitzers. The ATCs will operate alongside the Bronco all-terrain tracked carrier, more protected and mobile from the earlier versions. The new howitzers are self-loading to shoot faster and require 60% less manpower. As Singapore grows in prominence and its economy integrates more fully with the global community, it will face a broader range of security challenges. Despite constraints such as limited physical space and a smaller population, Singapore remains resilient and proactive. By continuously acquiring advanced weaponry and the latest technology, Singapore is well prepared to address these challenges, ensuring its security and stability in an ever-evolving landscape. As Singapore continues on this path, do you think it would be able to defend itself on its own if attacked? In light of its economic strength, is the country able to sustain the financial costs associated with its expensive defense ambitions? Tell us in the comments and keep following Out There International to have unique analysis on key global issues.